Hey, how's everybody doing? Jason from Listography here. Today I'm going to talk you through some of my favorite new releases of the past month or so. These are my staff picks of the week. The first album I want to talk about is Alice, Phoebe Lou and Band live at Funk House. Now, I am normally not that much of a live record person, but this is the second live record of 2020 that I have absolutely loved. The second time I'm featuring a live album on my staff picks. Now, Alice, Phoebe Lou released a great studio record in 2019 called Paper Castles. It just missed my top 10 last year. It was my 11th favorite album of 2019, and the tracks from that record make up the bulk of the set here on this live record. She is a South African artist who is now based out of Berlin. She started out as a street performer, and I think it really shows. She's got the sort of confidence and control that can really only come from singing for people who don't necessarily want to hear your music. Vocally, at her core, I would say she's a jazz singer, but her music incorporates a lot of different things, including R&B, jazz, soul, a little bit of funk and pop, and I think her songs just really thrive in this live environment. Her band is fantastic, and this record really shows off her control, both of her voice and her control of the stage. I just think she's one of the best vocalists around. This record really puts her at the top of the list of artists that I want to see live when things open back up and we're allowed to go to live shows again. Next, I want to talk about the new Blake Mills record, Mutable Set. First, a little background on Blake Mills, if you're not aware of who he is. He started out in a band called Simon Dawes. When that band broke up, some of the members sort of reconfigured and became the band that is now Dawes. And Blake started doing, session work and production work. He pretty quickly got a reputation for being one of the best guitar players around. Legends such as Jackson Browne and Ben Montench would sing his praises as being one of the best guitar players that they had seen in ages. He also started doing production work for artists like Jessica Hoop and Sarah Watkins, but he really made his name as a producer when he did that Sound and Color record for the Alabama Shakes. Since then, he's done multiple records for Perfume Genius. He did a Dawes record. He's produced for John Legend, and really just a wide array of artists. His production work has maybe overshadowed his guitar playing a little, but I've seen him live and I can vouch for the fact that he is one of the greatest guitar players on the planet. But it's somewhat interesting though that in his solo records he doesn't show off much at all. He released his first solo record in 2010, the excellent Break Mirrors, which really just shows how great of a songwriter he is. I think that's one of the best records of 2010. His sophomore album, Hi Ho, came out in 2014, which is also very good. He released an album of instrumental, more sort of atmospheric and ambient music a year or two ago, and now this is his third record of more singer-songwriter type songs. Cass McCombs helps out with songwriting on a few of these tracks. This is not an immediate record. If you need sort of catchy hooks or flashy playing or anything like that, this is probably not going to be the record for you. But if you enjoy records that kind of take a minute to grow on you, maybe require a few listens, and records that really unfold and reveal themselves to you over time, then I can't really recommend this record enough. It's excellent. The production is really good. It's a very hushed record, kind of meditative, but super beautiful, very well recorded. You can hear the tiniest creaks of the piano bench and just every little sonic detail. It's a very layered and nuanced record. So again, if you like that type of record that, maybe requires you to invest a little time and patience with it, it's definitely worth it in the end with this record. That's Mutable Set by Blake Mills. And the last record that I want to talk about today just so happens to be produced by Blake Mills, is the new Perfume Genius record, Set My Heart on Fire Immediately, and this is gonna be a Record of the Year alert. Now, technically every single record that I talk about on my staff picks has the potential to be a record of the year. You know, I go back and re-listen to these things a lot throughout the year. Any one of them I already like enough that it could grow on me to become a record of the year. Even records that don't make it onto staff picks could potentially become my record of the year. But this one, at the moment that I'm recording this, is a front runner, probably my #1 so far of 2020. Perfume Genius is the recording project of Mike Hadrius, who's an amazing singer-songwriter. He has an amazing voice, very emotive, kind of has a quiver to it, which kind of makes it sound like he's always on the verge of breaking down and crying. It's very emotional music, very powerful. This is his 5th record that he's made under the Perfume Genius name. Became aware of him when he put out his 2nd record, Put Your Back Into It, which is a much more somber, quieter record. This one is probably his most stylistically varied record to date. Sonically, it has all the attention to detail that Blake Mills has on his solo record. This thing is engineered to perfection. It sounds fantastic. You get little hints of country throughout this record on a song like Without You. You also have a little bit of like Baroque pop with a track like Jason, which has some nice harpsichord on it. The track On the Floor might be his poppiest song to date. It's kind of funky. It's got a little bit of like a Stevie Wonder groove to it. Your Body Changes Everything. It has a very dramatic and cinematic feel. Nothing at All is very anthemic. And the track One More Try kind of sounds like a 21st century update of Roy Orbison. So this record really has a little bit of everything, but at its core is still that really emotional and impactful songwriting and vocal delivery. There's really not a second wasted on this record. I think it is super engaging from start to finish, and I hope everyone at least takes a second to check this record out. It's fantastic. And the last thing I want to say before I close this video out, you know, on my last video I talked a lot about Daniel Romano, kind of one of my favorite artists of the moment. I mentioned he had been releasing quite a few albums, and since releasing that video he has continued to do so. He's putting out a record every single Wednesday on his Bandcamp. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm sure probably getting sick and tired of me talking about him, but I do just want to make mention of that. He's putting out great music every single week, so if you're interested, check out his social media and follow him on Bandcamp so that you can check out those records when they come out, because every single one so far has been really great. And that does it for staff picks this week. I'm sure Kramzer or Joe will have some excellent choices for you next week, and I will be back in a few weeks with some more excellent records as well. Take care, everyone, and we will see you in the next video.